absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for.
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all of these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes. Do you think that worked?
Dr. Evka, I'm sure that works. How about you?
I do think it worked because we have all these incredible people here.
Yes, we do. And I'm going to start introducing all of these incredible people. First up, from Portland, Oregon, founder and executive peer coaching group, a cardiomyopathy and AFib survivor who has built over a dozen companies, assuming more than 400 million in sales in 25 years, a father of 3 and husband. Let's welcome to the show, Jerry Breezy. And Jerry, I'm going to share something fun with you real quick because I really do have the disability of dyslexia. And as I was reading your bio, I originally saw father of 3 husbands. And I was like, that doesn't really make sense. Let me reread that again. But Jerry, hello and welcome. And what is your fun fact?
My fun fact is that I love to play pool, and I'm a pool player and have been for about 10, 15 years now. So that is what I do to blow off steam.
Pool player, blows off steam. And Jerry, do you ever put like money on the table and take people's money?
No, I don't. I work too hard for my money. I'm not a gambler.
Not a gambler, just playing for fun. Yep. Well, that's awesome, Jerry. And are you ready to have some fun on the Heart of Influence? Hopefully it's as fun as a pool game.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, let's do it. Next up, from Othaya, Kansas, a clinical mental health counselor and a background in adolescence care, now specializing in digital marketing, e-commerce, and CEO, a therapist business coach helping therapists build practices, improving online visibility, and attracting ideal clients. Teaching skills often missing from traditional training, empowering mental health professionals to succeed in both therapy and business. Let's welcome to the show, Brittany Rinke. Hello, Brittany. And first of all, did I pronounce where you're from in Kansas correct, and your last name correct?
It's actually Olathe.
Olathe?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. There's 2 Olathas in the country, and it's always got it. Don't worry about it. Everybody gets it wrong.
Okay, from Olathe. Yeah. And Brittany, what is your headline fun fact? Something that maybe you're proud of, something cool that you've done, something that would make us
I am actually a trained opera singer.
Oh.
Yeah. So singing is a huge passion of mine. Obviously, I didn't pursue it as a career. I'm not competitive enough in that arena. And I also have a disability, cerebral palsy, which would make it quite difficult to move around on a stage as a performer. So I kind of had to rethink things a little bit after my undergrad. So yeah, I am a trained opera singer. Yeah.
Wow, trained opera, beautiful voice, and I'm hearing handling disabilities with courage and bravery as well. Brittany, are you ready to have some fun on Dr. Evka's Heart of Influence?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up from Peachtree City, Georgia, a healthcare professional turned real estate investor overcame $500,000 in debt to achieve rental success as a feature on her Netflix show, navigating midterm rental bookings and share strategies through short-term gems to help others gain financial freedom, experience in multiple healthcare clinics, and degrees from multiple universities, a testament to resilience and the entrepreneurial spirit. Let's welcome to the show, Dr. Rachel Gainsbourg. And Doctor, how would you like for us to refer to you? Dr. Rachel, Dr. Gainsbourg, how would you like for us to refer to you?
Rachel is just fine.
Rachel is fine. Awesome, Rachel. And Rachel, what is your fun fact?
In high school, I played the steel drums for Hillary Clinton at an event.
Whoa. And did you get to meet Miss former First Lady Clinton?
I did.
That is awesome. Congratulations on that. That is a super fun fact. Rachel, and are you ready to have some fun today?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Next up from Richboro, PA, the COO, otherwise known as COO, of a 47-year-old nonprofit dedicated to holistic cancer prevention and recovery, a passion for empowering individuals, has trained hundreds of holistic cancer coaches globally, hosts a podcast diving into a holistic approach to healthcare, everything from physical and mental wellness to spiritual balance, inspiring healthier lives, stronger communities, and a better world. The Zachariah Frank, Zach, the king of health. Let's welcome to the show, Zachariah Frank.
Here for Zachariah.
Hello, who are you? Hello. That's my co-host.
That's my co-host,
That's
Dr.
my co-host.
Evka's Heart of Influence. I've beamed in from the multiverse.
You have beamed in from the multiverse because
To hear
Dr.
Zachariah.
Evka, because Dr. Evka has some magical powers, and she made it all happen.
I want to hear Zachariah's fun fact.
And you want to hear Zachariah's fun fact.
Zachariah, please, your headline fun fact.
Fun fact. Well, I guess it was kind of fun. I spent a couple years living in Airbnbs in Puerto Rico, traveling around. I lived in, I think, 14 or 15 different places in 2 years. So that's kind of fun.
This is a super cool thing. And what was your favorite place that you lived?
Oh, man, it's a very, very difficult question because they all had their pros and their cons. But there was this one coffee farm that I was living up in the mountains of Yauco, very inland, very secluded. It was very peaceful. The nearest town was maybe an hour down a mountain. It was it was a great place to think.
Yeah, it sounds like my ordinary Wednesday.
Yeah, so that I was going to say,
Perfect.
sounds like somewhere you'd like to go.
No, listen, yes, in a big way, Zachariah, I am envious. This is amazing. So I don't envy, I envy this. So beautiful job.
And Zachariah, I used to travel too around on and stay at Airbnbs until somebody got me kicked off of Airbnb, but we'll save that story for a different day.
Yeah,
it gets
what a
crazy
terrible,
on there.
It does. It gets really cruel. Terrible thing happened to her. It's unbelievable who did that. I don't know who that is.
Next up from Arlington, Texas, a world expert in otolantern geology and healthcare. Let's see if if that's broken down right from the team. Years leading allergy services and ENT group, launching a platform in 2021, empowering physicians to create evidence-based allergy programs. A senior educator in integrating innovative practices and giving workshops to help physicians build profitable patient-centered care practices. Let's welcome to the show, Dr. Dana Gibbs. I wonder if Dr. Dana can help with allergies with allergic to bad attitudes, because I'm really allergic to bad attitudes.
No, I have not found a cure for that. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
Shall we refer to you as Dr. Dana, or how shall we refer to you?
Dana is fine, and it's otolaryngology, but that's okay. Everybody just says ear, nose, and throat. So you don't have to even say that word anymore.
Oh,
Yes. And your fun
easier.
fact. Yes.
So
your
my fun
fact.
fact is that when I was 46 years old, I learned to fly an airplane and bought
Wow.
an airplane that is 20 years older than me and flew it all the way to California and back.
Wow. And you live where?
I live in Texas.
So from Texas to California and back.
Mm-hmm.
Very impressive.
that is very
Wow.
impressive.
That's pretty good.
Dana, that is a super cool fun fact. I like that. When we've had 8,000 people on the show, man, it's definitely a top 100 fun fact.
That is a tough.
Yeah.
I was getting my pilot license. Would you let me fly you to Texas and California and back?
Later, day after tomorrow, after tomorrow, after tomorrow, after tomorrow, into infinity. Yes.
I'm thinking he doesn't trust me to fly him. But next up from
That's
Garden
okay.
City, maybe Dr. Dana can fly you.
Yes.
Garden City, New York, board certified medical oncologist and founder of a transformative initiative aimed at empowering patients through education and guidance as they navigate cancer treatment. A graduate of Cornell University Medical College, deeply committed to offering holistic support and resources for those battling cancer. Let's welcome to the show, Dr. Tiffany Trousseau.
Dr. Tiffany, welcome to Dr. Evka's Heart of Influence. And how would you like to share your fun fact?
Sure. So I am now currently an empty nester, but can you
Go
hear me?
ahead. Yes,
Okay.
we can hear you.
Sorry. So I'm currently now an empty nester, but previously I had 3 children, a husband, a housekeeper, 4 cats, 2 dogs, and a bird in my house.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Your life
And
is
a partridge in a
definitely
pear tree.
even crazier than mine, for sure. So thank you. And how is empty nesting?
It's interesting. It's okay. My husband is still looking for something to eat every night at dinner. I'm like, no, I don't do dinner anymore. Nobody here.
I'm sorry, I thought you kicked him out too.
No, he got to stay, but he doesn't get any food. So
That is perfect. Domino's delivers Bella Rita empty nest, but pizza is present.
Pizza and present. Thank you, Dr. Trousseau. And let's go to Sean. You know what? I think we should introduce the amazing woman that brought all of these people here today. Coming from Berkeley Heights, New Jersey, growing up in the projects, helping her mom clean houses, recognized health as the optimal need in life, undergraduate degree in engineering, and MD and PhD with a master's in public health, now 17 years as a physician, writing books that have shifted and changed the entire paradigm and practices and specialties, saving countless lives and numerous volunteer projects as well. Let's welcome to her show, Dr. Evka Fesnik.
Dr. Evka, appreciate you at the highest level. This is one resilient, heart-centered, brilliant, courageous human. So Dr. Evka, please, your fun fact.
And I love you guys too. Okay. So I have an app, a learning app to teach medical professionals how to speak other languages, which is Spanish. And so I have been going around to different medical offices or talking to patients or talking to whoever I can about my app. And in the last 2 days, I have sold a program about each of you. I have mentioned Caliggy Law. I have referred a person who needs allergy treatment to Dr. Dana Gibbs. I've had conversations about cancer, to which I have mentioned Dr. Tiffany Zachariah. I have talked about Netflix and Dr. Rachel, and I have even mentioned Dr. Jerry Brzee. And so I've been going around trying this on my platform, and instead I have been talking amazing stuff about all of you.
Dr. Evka, that is you and how you roll and how you operate. And from that beautiful place, shall we begin?
I got you someone for Caliggy Law.
Thank you. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that might be a good thing for you too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Woo woo. Dr. Evka, that is awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome job. Okay, so before we start rolling, this incredible woman seated to my right began her career in the space of influence, selling crafts on her parents' front lawn. As a 19-year-old, she was a network marketer generating 7 figures. Those words don't fit together. 19, network marketing, 7 figures. Those words don't fit together, except with this woman. At the age of 24, in a male-dominated industry of business brokerage, she became Nevada's #1 business broker, and she did it 3 straight times, 24, 25, 26. First woman ever to be #1, youngest person at 24, male or female, ever to do it, let alone 3 straight times. She began to train entrepreneurs in Fortune 500 companies. In fact, in 2019, every sales team she worked with doubled their sales. Skier, surfer, scuba diver in the most extreme of conditions. Maybe she learned how to do that on YouTube, or maybe from a blind man. I think today it's the blind man, because I'm doing pretty good today. She's also a 2-time, about to be 3-time published author, philanthropist with the Unblinded team, raising $10 million for charity over the past couple of years. And in 2023, this heart-centered, courageous woman publicly battled and defeated cancer. Let's welcome to Dr. Evka's Heart of Influence, the woman that put the heart in it, the one, the only, Bella Verita. Ella, please, your fun fact.
Yes, I'm going to go with the fun fact. Today is I did go through a cancer journey last year, tried to fight it all holistically, did that whole approach. That wasn't going to work. Ultimately, I had to go in for a surgery, and I decided the best way to prepare for surgery was to go to Six Flags and ride roller coasters. And the last thing I did was ride the King de Ka at about 9 p.m. right before the park closed in preparation for my surgery the next day. That's my fun fact for today.
Yes, that is the absolute fun fact of all. And I had almost broken my neck on camera. Yes. So thank you. Yes. Blind man, not seeing which direction we're going. Interesting experience.
Yes.
So Bella, let's go.
Let's go. And I'll introduce my co-host, my co-pilot on the roller coasters, the man that Tony Robbins said, there's no one who leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callagy. He beats world champions like Becky at body surfing competitions. He is only one of 2 attorneys to win 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 2016, the only one that's blind out of 1.2 million attorneys. And in fact, he's so cool that the state of New Jersey actually named him one of New Jersey's most influential attorneys. He has spoken on stages just as Disney, T-Mobile, Salesforce, Tony Robbins 18 times. And when he's not busy flying around speaking on stages, he's an incredible philanthropist that has raised nearly $10 million for refugees in the Ukraine. Let's welcome my co-host, Sean Callagy.
Miss Bella Verita, Dr. Evka. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. And I think I'm going to go with this as my fun fact. In 2021, there's a Tony Robbins event. I had the privilege of speaking at it. And after the event, we decided we'd have a small gathering at an Airbnb that Bella was so gracious to put under her Airbnb account. It happened to have maybe 300 of our closest friends ended up showing up. The people, the neighbors, they were less than happy. And we've had a little bit of friction with Airbnb on Bella's account since, like maybe she's been banned for life, but we're working on it. So that is my fun fact for this beautiful day.
That is a very true fun fact. 3 years later, I've still not gotten my Airbnb account back yet.
But we've had some positive other compensation around it.
Yes, we definitely have had some positive compensation around that for
Yes.
sure.
So I get Bella banned for life on Airbnb. Yes, that is my fun fact. Who's
Yes.
going first?
Let's kick this off with Mr. Jerry.
Jerry, Bella's going to be anybody wanted to be. What we're doing is exploring the superpower of integrous influence. Because yes is what causes everything. Our fundraising for charity, for profit, marketing, selling, managing, leading, recruitment, everything happens after yes. So to illustrate this, we've had 8,000 people like yourselves in our fun little research and development laboratory who also get to connect up and meet each other. And so Bella could be an ideal patient, ideal client. She could be a philanthropic fundraising partner. Heck, she could be somebody famous like Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett, whomever you'd want her to be. So Jerry, who would you like Bella Verita to be? It doesn't have to be the ultimate yes. Could just be yes for a longer conversation. Please, who would you like Bella to be?
I can pick anybody.
Yeah, anybody. Yeah.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. They do look a lot alike. Now I'm blind, but I think they look a lot alike. Let's go.
Hello, this is Elon. Hello, is this Jerry?
Yeah, there we go.
Hello, it's Elon.
Elon, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How
Good.
about yourself, sir?
I'm doing very well.
What can I do for you today? I'm super busy. The team put scheduled this call, but I only had a couple minutes. What can I do for you, bud?
How do you manage so many things at one time?
A lot of drugs and alcohol. No,
That's
I'm
the-
just kidding. I am just kidding. I do not. I have people around me. A lot of people doing a lot of things. I am not a one-man show. I am definitely, you got to have a great team to do a lot of great things.
And where do you find the inspiration to continue to do the things you do and achieve like you have?
The inspiration is I know I can, and I feel like it is my duty that if I can, I must do.
Okay. And lastly, what do you do for fun?
What was that you said? You said
What do
fun?
you do for fun?
Fun. Interesting. I'm not quite sure. Like that fun word, maybe sometimes eludes me. I build weird looking trucks. I do crazy things. I come up with another invention. I think inventing is what I do for fun.
Okay.
Yes. Anything else I could do for you?
I think that'll do it.
All right. Well, thanks for the interview. Didn't know we were doing an interview today, but happy to come along and hopefully we meet each other again in the future.
Very good.
Jerry,
Awesome.
excellent job. Mr. Musk, wonderful job. Who's going next?
I think I'm going to talk to Mr. Musk and have him invent like a pink convertible truck because it's like weird looking trucks. I think there needs to be like a pink convertible truck out there.
I feel aligned.
You
Yes.
feel aligned with that?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's next go with Brittany.
Brittany, who would you like Bella Verita to be that you're going from hello to yes with?
Let's see here. I've been really inspired by Suzanne Cain. Susan Cain, who wrote Quiet. I don't know if any of you have read that about introverts. I am an extreme introvert.
Oh, about introverts.
Yes.
right.
And how powerful they can be. So, in a world that, in her tagline, in a world that can't stop talking. So,
That's good.
yeah.
All right.
You have some good introvert in there somewhere.
I do. Hello, this is Susan.
Hello, Susan. It's nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you as well. My team put this call on the calendar. I wasn't 100% sure what it was for, but wanted to take the call. What can I do for you?
Yeah. So I just have just a couple questions for you. Now your tagline is, the power of introverts in a world that can't stop talking. And my question to you is, for those of us who are introverts but feel called to leadership positions, what would be the first piece of advice that you would give?
For introverts in leadership position, is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
I would say, it is actually very powerful to be an introvert because, in a room where people do speak a lot, you gain power when you truly listen. And, my good friend Sean Callaghy teaches a concept called level 5 listening. And when you have the ability to just be quiet and listen at a level 5, meaning you hear, see, and understand not just what people are saying, but what's underneath that. And I think the biggest power with being an introvert, especially if you can listen at that level 5, at that 5 level, is you will cause people to feel heard, seen, and understood. And that will make you magnetic, like Oprah Winfrey. Right? Oprah Winfrey is actually an introvert and she listens very deeply and she causes people to feel so heard, seen, and understood that she held a stage and a microphone for multiple decades. And so that's the power that you have when you listen and you can cause people to feel heard, seen, and understood. Then you can lead them to great places and the places that they would like to be led to.
Wonderful. Great. So those extroverts, because introverts, not all introverts are shy. That's often, a misunderstood statement. So my question to you, those who are shy and introverted, how would you suggest that they overcome that shyness or that social anxiety, I guess you could call
Absolutely. Brittany, I would say deep practice, meaning, it's not something you overcome in one day. It is something to just practice a little more each day. Just stretch yourself a little bit more because that shyness is a habit. And, sometimes we can fall into conditioning of, being shy as a way of protection. And I would say, if you want to overcome that shyness, just take one little step at a time, one little step a day to, maybe not be shy in a situation and build that muscle and practice that muscle until you've overcome that shyness.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have anything else or shall we continue this conversation another time?
No, just to end with something fun, what's your greatest accomplishment as an introvert?
My greatest accomplishment as an introvert is, I think, speaking on stages. Awesome. Thank you so much, Brittany.
Brittany and Jerry,
Awesome,
excellent
thanks.
work. Great job, Bella. Elon Musk and, introvert expert.
Yes.
Let's get to the feedbackers.
Let's get to the feedbackers, otherwise known as judges. This is the time in the show that we get to give back in the form of feedback. And so it's going to be 30 seconds of feedback for either Jerry or Brittany, something that they did great, something that they could do to improve. And then a little next step is that next step you'd you'd rather have a root canal than have a longer conversation with Brittany or Jerry. Yeah, I don't think anybody's wanting a root canal today. It sounds kind of painful. But maybe that next step is a little mocha chocolate from Starbucks or dinner at the Capitol Grill. And if that's not enough time, you'd be headed out on a private jet, of course, stopping pick up with Dr. Evka and fly anywhere in the world to have the longest meeting with Brittany or Jerry. So let's kick this off with Dr. Trusso. And Dr. Trusso, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Jerry?
I thought Jerry had a very interesting platform. I thought his asks of you for Elon Musk was interesting. I think he could have probed you a little bit more, and you probably, if you had thought about this a little bit greater, could have gotten maybe a little bit more information out of him to lead you in the direction that you wanted. But I thought, I'm not even sure what I'm actually judging him on. So
Cool. So would you have a cup of coffee, a little dinner? Because here's the thing. People make all decisions based on emotion and then justify them logically. So was there a level of curiosity, a little inspiration, maybe, hey, a cup of coffee or dinner, what was resonating for you to do next?
Um,
Dr. Trusa just put in the chat she doesn't actually understand any of this.
I don't understand the platform. Did anybody else get the ground rules? Because I'm kind of lost.
Yes. So Dr. Trousseau, hi, I'm Sean
Tiffany.
Callagher.
You can call me Tiffany. Hi.
Okay, thank you. So I would love to talk for 3 hours about this conversation right now, but I'll go for 20 seconds. Do you exist on planet Earth?
I believe so. Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
So all day, every day, you're making instantaneous decisions about whether or not you say yes to people.
Okay.
Whether you listen for longer or you listen for shorter. There's endless brain science on this, right? So what we're assessing in the memo about what this is how effectively these fine folks either repel, are common, so they're a pat on the head, are creating curiosity, or maybe even inspiring, or at the highest level, creating awe. Because from that place is how filters are created or diminished, where yeses are caused. Yeses that lead to the building or destruction of nations. Yeses that cause the building or destruction of marriages. Yeses that cause the building or destruction of corporations. And very few people have the capacity to do this. And the most fascinating part of this is, as a Columbia University graduate, a law school graduate with honors, when I meet some of the most intelligent people in the world, like medical doctors who we work with actually hundreds of practices across America, top attorneys, top accountants, top financial service providers, they have no idea what we're talking about because they are completely unconscious, despite decades of education and human interaction, to how the world actually functions and operates. So the simple question is, like, would you feel compelled enough to be like, like, don't want to have another conversation? Would love to have a short conversation. Would love to have an even longer conversation. Like, man, I'm like super inspired and curious. I'd like to have a really long conversation. And we just put that through the mask of a little bit of fun of like a cup of coffee, which is real short, having a dinner, which is longer, and maybe like a private jet ride, which is joking and kidding around. But is it like, yeah, like we could put numbers on it. Like it's like 5, 6, and 8. Like, so what would you say is the follow-up? And we used to do numbers, but it was like hurt people's feelings. So like, yeah, a cup of coffee or dinner, because we want to make this really warm, welcoming, and comfortable for people, but we're assessing the science of human influence. So would it be a cup of coffee for you, like nothing at all, maybe a dinner or something even longer, please?
Thank you very much for that. That was very helpful. So, for Mr. Frank, I would probably ask for a cup of coffee. I was not moved tremendously by his discussion. I figured I didn't think that deeply into it. I thought maybe it was that I wasn't interested in what he was talking about. But as opposed to Brittany, I would ask her probably for at least dinner. So I was, the way she spoke, the way the calm and her tone and cadence, I found very appealing. I liked the questions that she asked. I liked the follow-up questions, and it pulled me in.
Yeah,
so.
But wait a minute.
What?
Do you actually know how to do this? No, and I'm
What do you
having
mean?
fun with this. No, I'm kidding, because you just did such a masterful job. The whole point of it, thank you for illustrating it, is we're all making those decisions constantly. And Malcolm Gladwell's pseudoscience book, Blink, and pseudo-socio-psychological science book, but he cites incredible studies in the book that people make instantaneous decisions, just like you did. We're making them all the time, right? It's what happens. People go, oh, like marketing? No. They're like selling? No. You mean like managing? No. Like leading? No. Like recruiting, fundraising for charity, for profit? No. But it's not all of those things. And how yes is caused. And what really is underneath the integrity of our work is a lot of yeses should really happen, and a lot of yeses shouldn't happen. So how do we discern the mastery and the skill set and not leave it in the hands of the Ponzi schemers, the abusers, the tyrannical oppressors to get into power to create yes? And how can we actually have the yeses that should happen, influence people, occurring, so we can make the world an even greater place as we build our own worlds more optimally? And that's what literally this is all about. So gamify, have a little bit of fun, but once every 25 shows, somebody courageous, like, I don't really get this. Like, what's really going on? That opens the doorway to the conversation a little bit more deeply with masterful people like yourself. And I really appreciate like the question because it allows us to step in this way. So thank you, and really great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, let's go, Dana. Dana, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Brittany? Oh, just unmute for us, Dana.
So I really liked the way Brittany led with a personal fact and asked about a person, asked to speak to a person who is, you know, maybe an idol or somebody who has something in common. And I wasn't exactly sure, you know, at the time, I wasn't exactly sure what the goal of the speaking. You said getting to yes, and it's like, okay, what is it that we're getting Susan Cain or Elon to say yes to? Whereas Jerry seemed a little bit more unsure of himself, and he dived right into the questions, and it didn't feel like he was as sure of himself as far as what to even ask. And so I'm not familiar with this platform, so I didn't know, did they know what questions they were going to get asked ahead of time? Do they know the format ahead of time? I didn't really know. But Brittany did seem more sure of herself, and I think I would be more inclined to ask Brittany for dinner, and Jerry, I would be wanting to start with coffee to see if we warm up just a little bit.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's go, Zachariah. Zachariah, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Jerry?
I think Jerry seems like a cool guy. I think I'm with him and also Tiffany, and I have like, this feels like a fever dream. I have no idea what's happening. Honestly, there's so much being said, and I don't know where we're going, but I'm having a good time. So Jerry seems like a cool guy. I'd go to dinner with him. Why not? Brittany is wonderful as well. She seems quite lovely, and why not? Let's go to dinner. That's dinner for everybody.
Yeah. So the simple place we're going is Plato, the Greek philosopher, said, play a game with me for an hour, and we will learn more about each other than if we speak for a year. So as each person has shared today, we learned a ton about each person. So there's pattern matchers and mismatchers in the world, people that find similarities, pattern recognition, or differentials on a macro and micro level. And it resonates or doesn't with people depending upon what you're looking to build and create in the world. So all we're doing is having like dinner in a virtual space and getting to know one another and seeing who resonates and doesn't with each other and why. That's all. That's the entire extent of where this is going, and deciding. And by the way, this is how we build relationships in business, and we decide who we want to do and build business with. So like, for example, right before the show, I talked to the leader of the Political Action Committee for Orthopedic Surgeons in Florida, because we recover more money for medical providers across the nation than any other law firm. And in that conversation, he immediately got it. He's like, I get it. There's millions of claims that exist under the No Surprises Act that people can't collect. I have access to. We can create economic partnership and share value, right? I may talk to 9 other physicians. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't get it. There's not really a problem. I don't understand. And it's like complete. So the discernment of who is a matcher and mismatcher for building things off the bat is an incredible discernment you need. The mismatchers are the people you want to be building business with and practices with far after things have accelerated, because they're incredible innovators and optimizers after you get to lift off. And so we're just creating patterns of recognition, understanding, getting to know one another, and people do that unconsciously, continuously. We refer to mismatchers as people who are annoying, right? Like, you'd be like, oh my God, they're so annoying. But they disagree with everything. But they look at the opposite side, the glass half empty. But humans don't appreciate how valuable those people could be at different stages of progression. So all we're doing is getting to know people together on the show and having conversation. That's the entire extent, Zachariah, of what we're doing. Making sense or no?
I love all of the philosophical things you're saying, and I very much agree with a whole lot of it. I'm searching for the translation as to what we've done here today. But
yes.
Yeah, you're saying a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. So how do you, Zachariah, what do you do?
So I run a holistic cancer education charity, and I also run a
How much money did you raise last year?
Not enough at all, quite
Yeah.
honestly.
And that's because you don't understand what I'm talking about. And
I do
raised
understand the
No,
philosophy.
I promise. No, I promise you don't. Because I raised $10 million last year. Because you don't have a platform. No.
I haven't been in the organization.
Zachariah, you said it's like a fever pitch confusion thing. No, you don't know how to do it. And I bet you $1 million I could raise $1 million for your charity in 6 months.
That would be wonderful.
Because what you think is relevant is not, and the degree of your confusion is because you have no idea what's happening. And because you have no idea what's happening, you don't raise the money you want to raise. So we're educating you on how to achieve your outcomes. That's what we're doing.
I'm along for the ride, my friend. I would love to.
No. I'm not offended or upset. I'm in the loving pursuit of the relevant truth. And the 2-time disrespectful and dismissive element on Dr. Evka's show that brought people together, I don't really know what we're doing here, makes me want to tell Dr. Evka, don't waste your time. Not a problem. And the reason I sit with 200 employees is because I don't communicate that way. It's cool.
Would you rather people pretend they know what's going on when they've not really been led to understand what's going on?
No, there's a different way you can empathetically, respectfully ask questions. And in fact, the logical mind tells me, I teach this and train this to Harvard and Yale Law School, medical school graduates. And simply put, it's how you ask the question. I've done this show 1,400 times. This has never happened. 1,400 shows. Every show is posted online. Right? 1,400. I'm not upset. I'm simply saying that for an hour, we're here to have fun and talk and get to know each other. And I will play the recordings of any conversation people had coming into this. I guarantee this was explained. This is extreme mismatching that occurs. It's all good. It's like not a problem at all. I love everybody. But that pattern doesn't allow people to see what they don't see. So why you're here is because Dr. Evka wanted you to meet people that help you raise money for charity. You've never met anyone who could raise more money for charity than I can. That's why some of the most famous people in the country put me on their stage to do that.
Like Tony Robbins.
Like Lee Steinberg. Why I speak at Disney, T-Mobile, Salesforce, on leadership, diversity, inclusion, belonging, management, leadership, communication. So we're having fun. That's all. But a vital piece to remember is Susan, I don't know what's going on. There's an infectiousness to mismatching. It's cool. And all I am doing is making sure that like we're clear what's happening, what's present. It's totally cool if this was not a good use of your time. But when you raise the money you want to raise for your charity and you find another source, call me and I'll match the first $500,000 that gets donated if you could do it in the next 12 months, personally. Or we can help. That's what's happening. Because people give money to charities because they like you. They resonate with you. They feel that you're causing something valuable for them. That's why. And that's how I have 400x a variety of charitable fundraising elements that people have done. And I've even actually 2000x some outcomes. Like charities that raised $14,000 have raised $2.6 million at the next event. So all we're here to do is to support, and this is all part of that support. And there's not one element of us that are remotely concerned, but the commentary of like, don't know what we're doing here. Like, don't know why we're here. I feel like I'm in a fever. I think the quote was, I feel like I'm in some kind of fever of like delusion and confusion, right? Cool. I'm just simply responding to what it is for the second time, very precisely, clearly. That's all. And so we could break the whole format and go with this. Can I help you understand how to raise more money for your charity so you can receive a precisely direct benefit? And tell me what you're doing, and I'll tell you what you could do more optimally. And it would start with you running shows just like Dr. Evka. Because if you don't have a platform where you're bringing humans together, you're not going to raise the money you want to raise. And that's lever 0.5 of marketing sales process mastery. It goes into a second lever 1 called ecosystem merging, where you create strategic partnerships with people that come together to add more value with one another, which then builds into partnerships in virtual and live speaking engagements, called webinars or speaking platforms, which then drive sales meetings. A sales meeting is a patient encounter, a philanthropic fundraising encounter, and the number of those that happen per month is going to directly correlate to how much money you can raise for charity, period. So the first thing you want to do is look at how do you exponentially grow the number of humans you talk to and have an encounter with that can actually donate money. Within those encounters, the second distinction would be you do not talk about why your charitable cause is a great cause. I shatter every fundraising record, open Helen Keller's time capsule at Extra from California, come to our event at the American Foundation for the Blind fundraiser. Why that so profoundly succeeded, why we raised $3 million for that charity in a very short period of time, is because we weren't talking about the cause. Instead, we were talking about how people could benefit in their own personal mission by getting involved with the cause and meeting other incredible people. Because the hardest thing to do is to assemble people, to meet people, to cause more things, which is exactly what Dr. Evika has done here today. Our ability to do that and to get out of our own fears, because most people would rather be in the coffin than delivering the eulogy, which means they are more afraid. People are more afraid to communicate. Jerry Seinfeld's joke, they would rather be in the coffin than delivering the eulogy, because people are so afraid to communicate and speak with people they don't know. That is what Dr. Evika has courageously done here today. Courageously. And if each and every person wants to truly accelerate their mission, especially for charitable causes, they will be doing precisely the same thing. Versus having a once-a-year event that they drag people to, that people feel obligated to donate $50 or do a tricky tray and raise a profoundly suboptimal amount of money. So what we're really doing here is educating human beings on how to create optimal ways to make the world a greater place, to fulfill their missions and visions, as Dr. Evika has done. So, Zachariah, what else can I answer for you about how you could raise more money than you're raising for your charity?
I don't know. I think I'm just gonna process everything you just said, my friend. I don't have any further questions right now.
Cool. And how many, may I ask this, how many sales meetings a month do you have with people? How many meetings, charitable fundraising meetings per month do you have with people as potential donors?
I'd have to look back through the books to give a particular number, but it doesn't seem very important right now.
Is that because the number is extremely low, like 0?
No, it's just because I don't see any fruitful reason to really give a number right now.
Got it. Okay, excellent. So any other feedbackers?
We got Dr. Evika. Dr. Evika, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Brittany?
Okay, Brittany, I am such an introvert. My favorite thing to do is to be in a closet somewhere and hide and read a book or go skiing or swimming by myself. Favorite thing. And so I feel you. And I just wanted to say, just to add to this, you guys are so brave because you shared what was important to you and you asked for clarification. And a lot of people aren't brave, and you guys are brave. And it sounds like Zachariah, I would take Sean on his offer. Raise that $1 million and let's see if he matches you. Let's make it happen. What do you think?
We shall see.
I said on a recorded line, I will 100% match it. I said $500,000. I said $500,000.
Recorded. Line. Recorded.
Yes.
Can I have that deal too?
Who was that?
That was Dr. Trousseau.
Can I have that deal too?
What is your charity?
It's a platform. It's not a charity. It's I was an oncologist. I retired from Memorial Sloan Kettering, and I started my new platform called Winning the Cancer Journey, with my goal of helping to educate and to guide cancer patients and their caregivers, because I found through the years that patients really don't understand what's going on, and it causes so much more anxiety and stress and anger and distrust in the system, that by educating people and helping guide them from a physician's point of view, I think will really help alleviate that for thousands and thousands of people.
Maybe millions. That's a beautiful, incredible thing.
Maybe millions.
So since we've flipped the structure, this is what we do. So seriously, congratulations. What's your goal for 2025? What would you like to see the platform grow to? Is it based up? Are you bringing people into a platform? Are you doing external speaking engagements only? What would be the yes that you're seeking from people, Doc?
So I've spread myself a little thin because I'm throwing spaghetti at the wall, so to speak. I have written a book which is currently being edited. It's called Winning the Cancer Journey, which basically goes through exactly what I just said. And from A to Z, spoken to a patient by a doctor. That book is being currently turned into an online platform, educational platform with videos, PDF downloads, and course guides through it. And I'm looking to make it potentially as like a subscription type of model where people would sign in for as long.
So
And I
fantastic.
speak. Sorry.
Fantastic. No, not sorry. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful. So what I'm hearing you say is you have the money and time. Maybe, you might not be Bill Gates or Oprah Winfrey, but you have financial abundance, you have time freedom, and you want to do something really powerfully impactful for human beings. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. I don't have the money though. I
Okay.
have my family savings, but that's, yeah, I
Awesome.
don't have
Okay.
a corporate sponsor. Mhm.
Yeah. So for this, then creating revenue and monetization of this is important to you.
Correct.
Is
At
relevant.
this point.
Yeah. In the beginning stages of it, it's relevant. Okay.
Correct.
My fear, right? So we're turning this into as much direct value as we can. We work with the level of our mastery in these spaces cannot possibly be overstated. So pretend like if you're looking for cancer advice, that we are the number one oncologist in the world. Like that's the conversation we're having, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the pattern I fear, and I'm not asking, but it sounds like somehow you made your way into a structure where you were told to write a book, create courses, shoot videos, that you're brilliant, you're amazing, you're persuasive, you resonate with people. Someone has told you those things. Is that fair?
Yes.
Right. And they said, therefore, we'll teach you to do online ads and you will sell programs and build your platform. Am I a mind reader or no?
No, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know how I know that? Because
cookie cutter.
Yeah, because I know
sell it all the time.
people sell it all the time. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean they can't do this. And I don't want to be discouraging, right? Because I'm an incredibly optimistic human. The challenge is, I would ask the folks that you're working with to show you economic models of success for at least one other person they've worked with, and exactly how many programs they sold and how many people came into the platform. The challenge is, Doctor, that in 2024 is extremely difficult through the online social media world to have people who will purchase programs without an oral conversation. So there's something called a liquidating book funnel. And a liquidating book funnel is something that if self-liquidating book funnel, that if you can get to a point of creating a self-liquidating book funnel, which means that it costs you $0 to sell a book. Like it costs you $0 to sell a book. People pay to sell books, right? People pay to have people accept their platform. And you're amazing. This is not a question of how amazing you are. It's just a question of how the system works. It's like, when Bella was receiving holistic advice on how to deal with cancer, at a certain point, we had to make a pivotal decision. Like the holistic advice wasn't working, and was the cancer going to spread beyond where it was? And it was one of the hardest decisions ever, right? Complex. Because for a certain small percentage of people, her holistic path with her type of cancer may have worked. It wasn't going to work for her. So similarly, when we look at platform building, which is a beautiful, powerful journey, because what people sell is you have this beautiful vision, you're amazing. We need to take your work, your story to the world, write a book, build a funnel. It's extremely difficult to do without a few other pieces. And the most important other piece, Doctor, is that you have a salesperson. The second other piece that is critically vital is if the economics are not in place correctly. I'm saying this, and I would happily pay for a private dinner at the Capitol Grill for your marketing folks and you if they could prove me incorrect on this. And I would, like, straight up, private room, Capitol Grill, spend $2,000, in the dinner. We do it all the time here in New Jersey, wherever you guys are, happy to do it. And I would love to be proven wrong. Because if they can do this for you, I'd hire them in a second, because I work with some of the top marketing people in the world. And it's really hard to do. And I see a lot of really good people that are doctors, lawyers, accountants, financial service providers that have a really beautiful thing they've done, and they want to take their work forward. But there's some missing pieces. So we'd be happy to offer a follow-up free consultation to give a little bit of optics and questions to ask before you end up getting frustrated and hurt. Like, I'm not saying you can't build a platform, but you need to make sure there's something that's at a high enough level of economic investment that can make the lower level, which is really just how people come into your world, economically work out. So happy to provide that. Anything else I can answer for right now?
No, thank you. Very insightful. I appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Anybody else have any questions about how to take your work to a higher place in the world, since we've broken format and script for the first time ever?
I'm like, I don't even know where to go from here.
And turn this into like a business and group coaching session.
Yeah.
But anybody else have anything else that they would like to ask?
This is really great. So I'm gonna say that my situation is very similar to Dr. Tiffany's. I quit my group practice a few years ago and started working with people who have Hashimoto's disease. There are online holistic practitioners online that are giving lots of decent advice to people, but they are also misleading them.
Yeah.
And so I have opened a small practice where I work with people one-on-one to try to help them with chronic fatigue and Hashimoto's disease.
Yeah.
And these are people that have been basically bypassed or forgotten by mainstream medicine.
Yeah. And just to give you a quick drop in, 27 years ago, I spent a year doing social security disability work as like one of the early things I did. I work with a ton of people with chronic fatigue. I work at the National Chronic Fatigue Society, fibromyalgia. So I'm just tracking. Thank you for the work you're doing. I am extremely familiar with the space. So please go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I lost where I was just a little bit, but anyway, so I use what I can from the medical world and what I can from the holistic world and try to combine it in a scientific way to help these people break free of chronic fatigue and get their lives back. And I have been working for about a year on this, and really started with people who were my patients before, because I had quite a few of those, and things are building very slowly by word of mouth. But my goal eventually is to basically do what Dr. Tiffany is doing, which is to build a platform where I can get this information out to people who can't afford or don't have time or I don't have reach to see them one-on-one. So I'm just, I don't have any sponsor. I don't have anybody except me pulling money out of my savings account to start a little podcast and a YouTube channel. And
please. Right. And this is the real purpose, because like if we did our little fun thing we normally do, then we have business acceleration sessions or mission acceleration sessions or practice acceleration sessions after this. I'm telling you right now, the greatest area of malpractice in America is in the space of marketing. It is incalculably insane what goes on. Okay. So to build a YouTube channel, and I've spent millions and millions of dollars doing all these things. I have partners in the space. One of the people I've partnered with is Chris Crone. I don't agree with the things Chris says. He says crazy things online. He's got almost 1 million followers on YouTube, Instagram, right? I've spoken on Tony's stage 19 times. Tony's got a huge following, of course. I've worked with loads of people. I work with people who are the most integrous marketers in the world and the most non-integrous marketers in the world and everything in between. And so is Bella, right? The time in 2024, what it takes to build a YouTube channel to get to a place of meaningful following. Now, remember, you don't own your YouTube channel. YouTube does.
Right.
The algorithm decides who sees what you have. So even if you have 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, million, people on YouTube, to take people from your YouTube channel into your offline platform is a massive lift. So it's a really odd dynamic. And I teach, and this is, we have a person, I have like, I don't know, 50,000 people on YouTube, something like that. Half of them are not from the United States. I don't monetize social media in any meaningful way, but I have partners who do. And the partners who do will say all day long if they were here. In fact, Chris Crone was in the intro video of this, where he would say that my offline relationship capital is worth 100x his 3 million people on social media. So people spend a lot of time building a social media following, which can literally take years because they want to reach people. And in fact, it is a much slower way to reach people than literally what we're doing here today. And I can't overstate that point. So what we're actually doing here today is we're creating partnerships, relationships with people that it's almost like this bizarre reverse engineering. People spend all of this time, and I train on this all over the place, right? On this and many other principles. In fact, I'm speaking to a major legal marketing association on Monday in Boston. And in that conversation, we're going to say the exact same thing I'm saying here. Why do we spend all this time, money, and energy building social media, which takes an incredibly long time? And the truthful answer is because people are afraid to speak to people they don't know. And once we cross the threshold of assembling people that we don't know and creating what we call ecosystem mergers and webinars together, we assemble incredible audiences. So, example, on October 22nd, we're doing a webinar with Allison Armstrong. I am. Allison has a 100,000 person email list. That 100,000 person email list has resulted in us having 1,500 people registered for the webinar right now. We'll get to 3,000 by October 22nd. We'll carry 1,000 people in the webinar. If my friend Chris put that on his YouTube channel to 1 million people, we might get 50 people to register. So an email list is worth 100x what your social media following is worth, minimum, right? People just don't talk about this. So we have all sorts of information to share about this, but if you want to build your practice, the most critically valuable thing you could do is you'd run online virtual shared experiences because they're free, right? If you bring people to Capital Grille, which is what I used to do pre-COVID, and I have the blessing and privilege of making an incredible amount of money by anybody's standards. I own numerous companies. I make millions and millions of dollars a year in personal income. And I also give away about $1 million a year charitably. And the way that I've done these things is doing exactly what we're talking about right now, which is why I'm here today. Because we want to help people, serve people, find people. And, one out of 100 people we meet ends up being a partner that we build a multi-million-dollar business with, sometimes an 8-figure business with. But it's worth the time and energy and so much more value. I have social media. I had 2.6 million views in the last 12 months of my social media, which I think is quite inconsequential, right? But this show and what we do every day in creating relationships and bringing value to people is what creates all of the business. So very simply put, I wouldn't take people to Capital Grille. I wouldn't take people to lunch at, or even Starbucks coffee. I would build an online platform like this where you're introducing and meeting people and begin to create webinar partnerships. Who should your webinar partners be? Lawyers, accountants, financial service providers, because they know business owners. Business owners have the money to pay you for their overall holistic health. In fact, a lot of people that have chronic fatigue syndrome tend to be people with resources that got really tired, really exhausted, and I understand all the dynamics of chronic fatigue, not as well as you do, but I understand it's not just being tired. It's unknown, indescribed. I know all the DSMs of, we've ruled out fibromyalgia, all the other things, right? Irritable bowel syndrome, very clear on it. So a lot of times people have resources, and you want to be able to work with those people to support you in helping the people who don't have the resources. So the idea of you building the practice so you can give really helpful advice to people who can invest $97 a year or even $97 a month with you, that's really hard to do to build a business on. The most optimal thing to do is to go generate 100 higher performing CFS clients that create a base of strength for your practice and your work, and then begin to create lower level subscription models, which I would do off of webinars, emails with people with large email lists and ecosystems, as opposed to trying to build the online following to then market your services to them. I promise you, I could prove that in 5 minutes. And if you had your marketing company talk to any of our team members, you'd watch their certainty plummet through the floor in 8 seconds. And I'm not saying they're bad people. They could be wonderful people, but there's a lot of wonderful doctors that are not helping people the way they would like to because they're not optimal, just like lawyers and accountants and financial services providers. So I don't want to see you guys get hurt. You seem like really wonderful, heart-centered people and help people. That's who Dr. Evika tends to know. And the model of like build my YouTube channel or my Facebook into a funnel, sell subscriptions. That's how I met this one. Because she was listening to the same marketing people. And was it working?
Nope.
I've never met a person that's worked for it because the numbers don't work. The numbers don't work. I spend about $1 million a year in marketing. I do online marketing. I believe in online marketing, right? It works, but it's a lot more complicated than run an ad, sell subscriptions at low dollars. That doesn't work because the ads cost more than the lower dollar subscriptions and you need a sales team. So that's the beginning of the conversation. We have happily follow-up conversations with people on our team that can really help you in beautiful ways that are free because you came here today. So what we're actually here trying to do is two things. Dr. Evika, you could all meet each other, talk to each other and see if you can do business together. And then second, we have some things we can follow up with that are really integrous and really helpful. And that's what we're doing. Anything else we can answer for right now?
No, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Guys, I'm going to jump in. I have a 5:30 hard out, so I got to jump. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay. Dr. Evika, final, as we have overstayed the time and tried to provide as much value as possible. Your final, Dr. Evika.
I am so blown away by who you and Bella are and the integrity that you have. Sean, you're blind and you are a powerhouse and someone who is brilliant when it comes to business mastery. And my goal was for everyone to see you, but also to us to get together afterwards and for people to connect, because the more connections we have, the better. And I hope we do that. But I also hope you have conversations and continued conversations with the unblinded team because it's free. And it's so helpful and it's so useful. They have raised so much money in charity and they're here to help all of us to make the world a better place.
Thank you. And Dr. for everybody, thank you. This was a fascinating experience for us as well.
I've co-hosted over 1,350 episodes and never has there been a episode like this.
Yeah.
I know, it's powerful.
Yeah. But that's the whole point is that we innovate and optimize and work with the people that we're with. And that's what we're here to do, to serve. I'm really appreciative of Zachariah's commentary. Please, if you want to really truly raise the money, have that acceleration session. It'll blow your heart and your mind for sure. All of you guys, that's there for you. And just if you want to come on the October 22nd webinar, even if you have no interest in hearing from the greatest relationship expert on the planet, Allison Armstrong, our partner on that, just to watch what we do. Watch what we do. Watch how we run a 90-minute webinar. Watch the sequencing. And even if you don't want to listen to the content, appreciate how we're adding value and then how we build our business from that. You're not going to get a better training because we are world-class experts at this. And the entire sequencing and model will give you the best model to raise money for your charity, to build your practices, to do those things because you want to be doing the same thing. You want to be running webinars with partners with massive lists that can help you get your beautiful message integrally out to human beings who you can help. Any other final questions I can answer for today? Cool.
I like that.
Thank you, Dr. Evika. We love you. Definitely connect up together. Definitely talk to Dr. Evika. And I end every show by saying this. I may be physically blind, which I am, but I am so certain, and my certainty has only risen today, that the opportunities for acceleration sit right in front of us for our financial abundance, for our scalings of our missions, for the opportunity to create more magic and impact in the world that so often sits right in front of us. But sighted or not, Bella and Dr. Evika, at some level, we are all blind.
And just learning to see. Bye-bye, everyone.